Right, hello, welcome back to the Five Media Podcast. This is attempt two, because we tried and we failed before. But this is attempt two of our Afrobeats and Amapiano podcast. We're going to delve into the history. We're going to delve into the history of these two huge genres in African music and how they've impacted local and global communities. So first of all, I'm going to introduce my co-host here. Okay,
Yo.
Pharrell.
Hello.
Hello. Dylan.
Yo.
Matthew.
Yo.
Yeah. And George.
Hello.
So, are we all aware of what Afrobeats is and what Amapiano is?
Well, Fez doesn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it? What are these two genres?
What, Afrobeats, Amapiano?
Both of them.
Afrobeats is a genre that originated out of West Africa. Heavily, you know it's Afrobeats from the drum pattern. Essentially, that's where it stemmed from. It stemmed from essentially just drums. That's where original African music came from. Then synths came into play, then other instruments, and it came in. It sprouted in the 60s, I'd say, and then blew up from there. Went a bit quiet though towards 80s, 90s because reggae did its thing and Bob Marley, all them man. Well,
Okay, thank you, Kay. Good description. So Kay's right. Obviously, it originated in the 60s. Fela Kuti, a Nigerian musician. He's described as one of Africa's most charismatic performers and considered like the godfather of Afrobeats. And also, it did start from mostly just the drums. There's a drummer called Tony Allen, who was Fela Kuti's like close friend slash band member, I think. And he said that they were greatly influenced by like jazz musicians like Miles Davis and soul musicians as well, like James Brown. And actually said James Brown visited Africa, and that was like a seminal moment in their influenced by like the zany vocals, the instrumentation. That had a big impact on Afrobeats. That's kind of how the genre got its start. We're gonna go back to the modern day though, because obviously we weren't alive for the 60s.
You was.
Okay. I walked into that. No, I walked into that one. I could see it coming. But yeah, we're going to the modern day, because that's where we come from. Fez, you want to say it again?
Huh?
Right. Cool. What is your experience with Afrobeats and how were you introduced to it, everyone? We'll start with DK last time. I'll start with George actually. Why not George?
I think I've got very limited exposure to Afrobeats compared to everyone else because, where I'm from, there's no one really plays Afrobeats.
so you got black friends now, so you're gonna.
I'm a changed man now. So, first exposure to it's probably been through Burna Boy, just very base level exposure.
Yeah.
But I'm here to get educated more.
I feel like that's where a lot of exposure's been recently.
Yeah, Burna Boy.
He's
Like one of the most mainstream.
Yeah, he's blown up the scene. I made it mainstream, especially to a Western population, I'll say. Well, like other ethnicities, he's brought it out to them. But him, Rema, Tyler, as of recently, is just blowing it up in the US. They've done their shit. But I feel like in the UK, the main exposure that brought it out was, I'd argue, was Fuse ODG. If you know what I mean.
Nah, it might be Wizkid.
You think Wizkid?
No, but Wizkid wasn't before Fuse ODG.
Yes, he was.
Do you not? Yeah, but do you not remember how much
The Antoinette.
Antoinette and Azonto was banging on the radio back in the day?
How party hard.
Yeah, I remember I'd just be driving home from school.
Party Hard isn't an Afrobeat song.
No, it's not.
Saying that.
No.
What would you class that as?
It's funky
funky
house.
house.
That's funky house. No, but Azonto
Had some-
and Antoinette was banging on the radio back in the day. Like, I'll be coming home from school in my mum's car or my cousin's car. And I remember just banging that out. And I knew the dance at like the age of 8. Like, I don't know. Nah, it was back. It's time, like 2012.
Yeah, Fuso DG was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still kicking about?
I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know, but yeah, Fuso DG, I could agree with that. That he's one of the early, like in the
UK
modern
especially,
age. Yeah, he's definitely one of the early, like, I don't know, innovators of it. Would you say? Definitely moved it forward from where it was. And then Burna Boy as well. He's newer than Fuso DG, but he's been around for a while too now. And yeah, a lot of people get their start with him, and Wizkid as well. So yeah, just gonna talk about how like the diaspora affects the popularity of global music, because obviously we're from the UK, and there's a lot of people in this room from places like London, big cities. So have you seen the diaspora in effect, like in person, like that West African population? Has that helped push the genre forward, or have you seen how the popularity of Afrobeats has affected those group of people?
I think, you know, there's Africans everywhere. You know, I think one of the most, I don't know how to phrase it. Like, anywhere you go in the world, you will find an African.
Yeah.
And I think them being able to see themselves in like mainstream media has been a big thing into making it as big as it is, because you know, anytime the Afrobeat song blows up now, there's always, you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you go on Snapchat, there's always Africans showing it love. There's always someone saying, oh, that's my country, that's my country. Everyone's trying to claim everything. So I think that has had a big effect on how it's blown up. Like, they're not ashamed of it. Like, you know, some people may be ashamed of like their culture or where they've come from, but in terms of Afrobeats, it's really like brought the community together, I would say.
Yeah, leading on from that, I feel like in our generation as well, it's brought our generation as a whole, in terms of ethnicities, closer together. If you know what I mean? That bashment as well, but that's a different subject. But like, you go to clubs, you go to parties, Last is playing, everyone singing
everyone knows
like,
it, yeah.
from Stacy to Baljeet, like, you know.
No, but there's a lot more independent like Afrobeats club nights now.
Yeah.
Like solely Afrobeat club
yeah.
nights. And that's what London, Manchester, Birmingham.
Even
And
like
sometimes,
Leeds
bro,
Carnival's
there's
massive.
so many
Yeah.
there's so many white people at these events.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They
There's a
get
lot
into it.
With Amapiano, there's a lot of non-black DJs that do Amapiano, especially
Is there?
overseas. Yeah, there's a lot of
Really?
people. Yeah, if you
You
go to
know,
like what's the name in Portugal?
The Afro Nation.
The Afro Nation. There's a lot
Yeah.
of like non-black DJs that do Amapiano.
The majority of them are actually not.
Even
black.
here in Birmingham, if you Rosie's,
Rosie's
none
all-
of the DJs are black. And there's Afrobeats all the time. China
Yeah.
white, the DJs Middle Eastern, I think.
Yeah.
Like everywhere, and they're still banging it out. But that's what's popular, and people are listening to it. And I feel like if you look at other generations when Burna Boy wasn't about like that, I'd say ethnicities are separated. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like-
there's like, we have our music, you have yours,
Yeah.
type thing.
And it's separated people in terms of like, because this is what we enjoy, this is what you enjoy. But with our generation, I feel like we all enjoy everything, so we're more connected. Like if you look around uni or just everywhere, you just see friend groups of every race and everything, and it's less like segregated, if you know what I mean. And I feel like music and the Afrobeats and all that has really influenced that.
Yeah, I think it is a definitely unique trait to like Afrobeats and Amapiano, especially, where it's like it's very inclusive.
Yeah.
Just because it's an African genre of music, doesn't mean that people outside of the continent can't enjoy it or can't get involved in it.
There's also, I feel like one example of it. There's an artist called Luca Zaccotti or something. He's a white. You might have seen him. Do you watch Beta Squad?
Yeah.
He was the white guy who sings Afrobeats on Beta Squad. If you saw that.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
he became really popular through that
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah, so he's a white guy from Manny, I think, and he's an Afrobeat singer.
That's
And-
No, but he does put the accent on though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
A bit.
but
Is that something people would be annoyed about?
I don't know. The reception he got from it was really
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
But I suppose if you're doing it like in it, in a good way, especially, and an authentic way, where you're not like mocking it or making fun of it,
No,
you're genuinely
it's not
trying.
appreciating the
It's,
Yeah,
value
you're
of it.
it's not
appreciating it.
appropriation
Yeah.
because he's gone to Nigeria He's done time
And he
out
studied
there.
it.
He studied it. His producer is a black West African guy, and he's helping him. So it's not. I feel like examples like that just show how far we've come as a culture.
You know when you had that guest speaker at Essier's thing,
Mhm.
and one of the A&R said she's managing.
Yeah,
That's him.
Is
That's
that him?
Was that the artist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's why I was speaking to her when she was there.
And she said herself, and she's like a white girl. She said herself that
Yeah.
she's really into Afrobeats.
Yeah,
like,
she's had to get
that's all she listens to.
educated in it and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's cool. That's definitely cool how it's encouraged people to learn about the genre. I feel like you don't see that in every music genre.
No, you don't.
Nah,
Especially,
not at all.
especially like rock.
Yes, we have to
so-
actually delve deep into the culture and actually figure things out. Like, okay, what does this mean? You know, I think that's definitely a unique trait to
But I
the
think
genres we're talking
the thing
about.
with Afrobeats is such a feel good genre
Yeah.
that it makes it naturally inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense
Yeah, definitely.
because you don't have to be from a certain background to catch a vibe, I guess.
100%.
I'm just going to get into some of the stats as well. Obviously, we talked about just then how successful the genre is and why it's successful. I'm just going to get into some of the figures now. So Afrobeats actually is one of Nigeria's biggest exports. If we're just looking at Nigeria, obviously it's a West African genre, you could argue, but in terms of Nigeria, it's one of their biggest exports, both culturally and financially. And it stands to make a revenue of $316 million
Wow.
dollars in 2026. That's an estimated number, and it has an annual listenership growth of 11%. So 11% may not sound like a lot, but if you're thinking of all the Afrobeats artists in the world and then all their monthly listeners on Spotify and Apple Music, you're talking hundreds of millions maybe there. So that's crazy. That's crazy growth, and it's only getting bigger. Especially if you look at the Grammys, now they have their own Grammy category, best
African
African artist or performer. Yeah,
African
Did
performer.
you see Burna Boy's performance at the Grammys?
no, I didn't see it.
That was really good. He did a lot because obviously he's got songs with 21 Savage and that. He did that, but he played some of his his stuff that is real Afrobeats, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And he had original African clothing, drums, everything, set out. He was embracing the culture and showing that to America. So I feel like America's quite separated
Yeah,
from the African culture. Even though that's
definitely,
where-
definitely.
Just the history. That's
Yeah, it's a history, but I feel like artists and Burna Boy are bringing that back to them,
Yeah,
if you know what I mean, and people are more embracing of it.
yeah. Because I feel like if you look at old movies and TV shows and stuff, they seem to think that Africa was just still tribal,
Yeah,
primal continent where
100%.
there's no real technology, nothing's really going on there. And obviously now I think Afrobeats has been a huge part of showing that Africa's a contender on the world stage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Africa can go against Europe in terms of music, in terms of culture, and it can stand on its own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And I think Afrobeats has definitely opened the doors for that perception. So we're going to talk about Amapiano now. So Amapiano is newer than Afrobeats, I'm pretty sure.
Very new. It's
Yeah.
almost in the last 3 years, I want to say.
Yeah, very new. And it's literally taken the world by storm, I would say.
I wouldn't say world yet. It hasn't
Do you
broken
think?
into
Um,
America.
It's,
I'd say
it's
world.
I'd say
no.
It
world.
has broken into America.
Yeah.
Has it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Broken into America, definitely.
If not America, it's definitely gone into places like Portugal and
Oh, yeah,
Spain.
100%.
All over
'Cause,
Europe,
yeah.
they have their own festivals for.
Yeah, there's,
In Europe,
Amafest.
Yeah, Amafest.
Amafest,
Amafest is
yeah.
the biggest.
We've had one here as well, haven't
Biggest, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
biggest festival for that type of music.
I feel like Europe shows more love when it comes to
Embracing cultures.
embracing
Europe-
cultures and music
Because-
that's not
Because
from their
Europe's,
country.
Europe's quite it's like a melting pot.
Yeah,
I would
it's so
describe it as a
diverse.
melting pot.
we? Absolutely.
It's so diverse and people don't forget their culture. So
No.
you realize that Europe's big, but it's small in its own way, if you know what I mean. Like all the countries are small, they're right next door. We can go in between each country, but everyone
Yeah.
has their individual cultures
Yeah.
that we don't forget. And I feel like that helps, especially with African, what's the word again?
Diaspora.
Diaspora coming into Europe, because we don't forget it. We
Mhm.
embrace it. And we
Yeah.
embrace it into our cultures as well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, Amapiano is definitely been embraced. Obviously, it's gone from just being played solely in countries like Zimbabwe and South Africa to then having boiler rooms, having their own festivals, having their own packed out shows. Like is it Uncle Waffles? Uncle
Yeah,
Waffle
Uncle
Crow.
Dave,
She's more or
she's
less
up
becoming a
there.
household name, amongst like our generation. And I know people that don't even listen to Afrobeats or Amapiano. And when she's playing, they're like, oh, do you want to see Uncle Waffles? Do you know what I mean?
There's even been Amapiano at Coachella as well.
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah,
Really?
Coachella,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
He was playing.
Oh, let me find the name of them. But they even made a song. I read this the other day. They made a song 2 years prior calling it Pianocella,
That's
and it was
sick.
like almost like a manifestation that there would be a.
For what?
It's called the how do I Mbir Brothers.
Yeah.
The
Let's see.
Yeah.
Mbere
Mbere?
Mbere Brothers. They're what it says is that they're major league DJs in South Africa
Mm.
for Amapiano.
So that shows how far we come.
Yeah.
As well, because who is it? The Stormzy was playing. Who came out with him? Was it Onomodi Black?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he came out with Skepta. Rema was at Dreamville the other day as well. Even though that got screwed over, but yeah, it just shows how far we come.
You even
as well.
got likes of like Central C referencing is it Asake
Asake.
Amapiano song.
Yeah. He's
What,
been-
using it
in
as a
the
sample?
No, in his referencing one of his lines
Oh,
in
he's
the
been-
song with Dave, 25th birthday.
Sake has been huge for the industry.
Mm,
as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
He-
very big influence.
Like the cut, not colours. Who was on colours? Was he?
Asake.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was on Colour's show.
Yeah, but he's been massive. He helped bring Amapiano up as well. He's one of the
That's where I found out through
Yeah, that's how
Amapiano,
I
to be
found out.
honest.
Huh?
Did the thing with Burna Boy.
Yeah, he done
Amapiano.
Snug Bar.
Yeah.
No, that one. Yeah.
Does he not have a song as well with Gunner as well?
Sake. I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he does on a remix.
But he's not as well known in America, but especially in Europe. In
Europe
and
definitely
UK,
100%.
Yeah, Europe, he's a
He's
big
been
name.
massive.
Definitely a big name.
especially in the UK.
And also, I wanted to say before, but Portable as well. I think that's crazy now that he's speaking just purely his own language. Is it Yoruba he speaks? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it is Yoruba, but he only raps in Yoruba. Besides the Skepta song, he only raps in Yoruba. And I think for me, I don't know. I never really thought of listening to it, but when I did listen to it, I was like, wow, this is actually really sick. Like, because usually Afrobeats artists still rap in English, sorry.
I think
But the fact that he's using his mother tongue is really cool.
I think we have to give some credit to like artists like Skepta because they really do give like they
Yeah.
platform
100%.
people like Portable, Odumodu Black, like Asake, all of them. They're getting platformed by like artists aren't afraid to collaborate with Afrobeats artists no more,
What was
Amapiano
that,
artists because
Who did he have on Dimensions? Oh, he had Rema on Dimensions.
Dimensions.
Yeah, with J5.
Yeah, I know he's got a track with Portable,
Yeah,
which is very
that's a
good
new
song.
one, Tony
Yeah.
Montana.
Very good song.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna get into some of the stats for Amapiano, because that definitely is a hugely emerging genre, really fast growing genre in the music scene right now, and it's amassed over 1.9 billion streams in 2022. That's the most recent stat, and it's growing. This is actually huge. I didn't know this, but it's growing by 563%
Wow.
over the years.
Wow.
And so over the last 2 years, I think Dylan, you said that it's only been around for 3 years or something.
No, it's been around since mid 2010.
Mid 2010.
Yeah,
Oh,
emerging in South Africa, but it's only
Right.
really kind of
blown up in the last
blown
three.
up, taken around in the last 3
So
or
in the
4
last
years.
two, the listenership has gone up by 563%,
Yeah.
which is insane. So yeah, we're definitely getting more South African representation and Zimbabwean representation.
I think
in
that kind of leads
respect.
on to Tyler as well and her influence.
Tyler, yeah,
Mhm.
and that does open the doors for an artist like Tyler, she's probably one of the biggest female artists right now,
Came out
Probably
of
the
nowhere
biggest.
as well.
coming from South Africa, and I think might be the first like actual pop star to come out of South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Mhm.
I
She
can't
was the
think of
first.
anyone
Wasn't
else.
she the first female to win a?
South Africa,
Yeah.
Out of South Africa.
The biggest one.
Yeah, so she's kind of a first, and she's the first. Was she the first African or first female African
First female African, I think.
to win an award?
Is
Yeah,
it? No.
First female, or was it no?
Thames.
Thames was the.
Was it first South African?
Was
Don't
then
know.
I think it
like
was the first South African.
'cause
Yeah.
Thames been
Yeah.
massive.
So she's the
Especially
first.
Wait for You as well. I
Yeah,
think
she
one
won a
of-
Grammy
Yeah.
for that. She did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is Thames Nigerian?
yeah.
Nigerian.
We can't forget Thames because she's done.
Yeah,
lot.
Thames done wonders, man.
She's done.
I
Well.
feel like she kind of gets overlooked for how long she's
Oh, 100%.
been
does.
about for.
But I feel like it's because she's not in the limelight.
Yeah, she doesn't.
seek
she's
the
more of
limelight.
Is she a feature artist?
Yeah.
That's what I was about to.
Well,
Yeah.
but she has her own stuff, but she's known more for her features, which is the annoying thing.
But then that's kind of similar to like Tiggs.
Yeah.
You know, like Tiggs, he's more of like a hook
Mm.
kind of artist.
Yeah.
But she has done a lot. She's done
But
well.
for Tyler to have Gunna on a song,
Gunna, bro.
Gunna
Gunna.
and Skilly Bang on a song,
Travis Scott as
together.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Travis
Travis
Scott on a
Scott
remix of
Um,
Water.
She's getting. Did she not get shouted out by Drake?
Yeah, she did.
She got shouted out by Drake.
She went on
Yeah.
Kai Cenat's stream as well.
Kai Cenat
Cenat
stream. Like she's. Yeah, I mean, Burna Boy is already huge, but in terms of like the female scene in that respect, like she's probably the one putting on the most
Yeah.
for that and like really bringing it to an
And the work
international
rate
level.
is crazy as
Mhm.
well.
Which is
Yeah.
bringing more like mainstream
Listeners.
vibes and listeners to
Yeah.
our music as well, which does help. Then it brings them to, they'll listen to more of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna wrap up. I feel like we've talked about both the genres quite well. Discuss some of the latest artists that are really making a global impact and influencing the music scene. So Afrobeats, Amapiano, where do you guys think it's headed? What is the future? Obviously, it's turned from something niche to something globally mainstream now.
Yeah.
It's almost been pretty much normalized. It's been accepted into the Grammys. You're finding more people from different races listening to it than you were before. And it's delved into different countries. You can find it anywhere now. So where do you guys think both these genres are headed? Do you see one outlasting the other? Do you see maybe both of them fading away at some point?
I don't think it's gonna fade away per se, but I definitely think with Amapiano, it's sort of based off a certain type of South African music that they've modernized and they've made it what it is. I think the rest of Africa is gonna have something to say next, because literally every country in Africa has their own Amapiano. They have their own
Their own
version
scene, yeah.
of something that started off there. They've made it like a neo-traditional version. So I can definitely see, Ghana coming out with their own version of Amapiano, or Sierra Leone making something. Or I see a lot of these countries coming back with their own responses for it, and I just see, I think the it's limitless how far they can go. There's no ceiling on
I
it,
feel
really.
like Amapiano is quite a niche genre itself, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah, but if you're trying to say where these genres are going, I feel like Afrobeats has got a ceiling that it hasn't even got a ceiling. It can keep going. It'll go high, and I think it's got a lot of mountains it can climb. Well, there's a lot of mountains to climb, but I feel like there's a lot of things it can reach, and there's so many people that listen to it. Like, especially when there's people like Ed Sheeran hopping on Afrobeats tracks, or like popular artists that are doing this and that, and they're like white Caucasian,
Yeah.
like American artists that
Yeah.
are hopping on it. But I feel like Amapiano is quite niche as well, so it has a lot of mountains to climb to get to where Afrobeats is gonna get, if you know what I mean. But I feel like it can blow up. I don't think there's a ceiling for it.
Right, cool. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Hopefully, you guys, whoever's listening, has learned more about the scene, more about where it came from, the artists that are popular now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.